brothers and sisters, generals, family, young or older, those who are looking to stay wise and stay stable in this life. As we all know and we all say, those that man, stopping is never an option, and especially if you want to see great things come and you want to have a great life, to the best of our abilities. We'll get through, as I always say, fight through all the human errors, and then we can get to that spiritual side of us when we see beyond the human body, as I said on a couple of podcasts ago, about mastering one's emotions. And mastering one's emotions can lead to a lot of things. On that podcast, I mostly spoke on relationships and friendships and stuff like that. But before I finish or begin, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And I salute and I thank current subscribers and new subscriber, brother or sister, general, salute, family member, anyone that listens or views. If you get anything out of what one says, take that positive energy and pass it on to someone else, because it can be the smallest little positive thing. As long as it's sincere from a brother or sister or a family member, it will come back. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I've experienced this, and many others have experienced this. But man, just be thankful and stay sharp, my brothers and sisters. Stay with it. And as I said on that podcast, I spoke about, and this is what I call a thought intro, by the way. I'll get to the topic, but I want to speak on that podcast I made called Mastering One's Emotions, because I mostly spoke on being aware in general, but I mostly touched on relationships, friendships, and interacting with human beings and stuff like that. But it's way more, a lot more things in this life and in this world that can stem from mastering one's emotions and not jumping off wrong impulses. And impulses could be saying something wrong, doing something wrong. And I'm talking about if it's like really bad, and that quick second not thinking type stuff. And we become more aware of things and not so lost in this machine, as I talked about a podcast I made today, I believe. Earlier this morning, I made another podcast called Outsmart the Machine, AI, natural intelligence. Something we find out, a lot of us find out later on. It's things in this world that make us feel stupid or think we're stupid, but we stay with it and stay on course and stay away from things that can sway us from getting to that building part of our mind, that intelligent part of our brain, and then broaden it and expanding it and knowing even more than we ever knew before, But we have to seek it out, information, and seek things, and not be so drawn in and caught up into this here machine, and know it for what the hell it is. And that's real talk, excuse my French. But once we get to the pit of that soul and we see things, that things we supposed to see to keep us from getting caught up from anything that's wrong, in this world. This social media can sway you one way or another. No, we stay balanced right in the center of the storm, the eye of the storm. We right here because we see it all when you're in that eye of the storm. So let's sharpen our self-awareness, and keep building. We assess and we reset. We always do a little, I used to call it a spiritual invoice. That's brother, sister, general, family member. Every now and then do a little assessment on ourselves, where we are, where we've been, our lives, just a serious, deep meditation, maybe some human errors we maybe missed. Let's just staying afloat and being aware of things, and especially offline. That's when we do the spiritual invoice on oneself, brother, sister, or young. Take time away from the computers and all the noise and the hustle and bustle of the world. Get off to oneself. Hey, whatever it takes, whatever you do righteously to get to the center of our thoughts, so we can stay aware and clear of things, of sneaky snakes, manipulators of person, place, or thing, especially on social media, because social media is loaded with toxic wrong impulses, and that's where a lot of people are taken in and find out things they didn't know were there, because things can look good digitally. They can make it look real good and glamorous and beautiful, shining and sparkling. And it's like I said in the podcast, the honey bumblebee theory. The little shiny gold things. Example, little shiny things we see on social media that can draw us to it. That's why they put it on there. I'm talking about those that are manipulating. I'm not talking about the righteous things that are on social media. I'm talking about the ones that draw you, things that draw us in, and even empty our pockets, some of us. So as you see on my banner now, again, I have nothing against those who have cash apps and mean well and getting money, because I've met brothers and sisters, not in person, but, online I've seen, they're not in it for the money, but, they have that. But then you have those who are scamming and stuff like that. So that's why I'm making this podcast right now about sharpening our self-awareness. Even if we do fear, not fear. We don't fear. We study that too. If we feel any enemy of fear within and discouragement, and don't let nothing take us back. We study it and don't make the human error again. But if we divinely, spiritually, to the pit of our soul, we won't get taken in by things. And that's a fact. You just have to stay on point, stay clear, stay focused, and don't rely so much on this digital shit. Only use it if need be, if have to be. Don't use it for everything. That way we won't get caught off guard by things of this here machine, as I said on the podcast this morning. And we won't get caught up in it. Always stand on the outside of this so-called matrix. Don't let this matrix make you. No, you make it. Let this machine evolve around us. We don't evolve around it. And that's any other person, place, or thing. Never ever live by the expectations of social media or others, especially if they're toxic. We got to stay aware, stay clear. Can't let the intoxicating things of our body, our flesh wants to feed on things and wants to do everything that's convenient. No, that's the thing too. This social media make us lazy, mind, body, and soul. We got to stay on point. Some things we don't need to do on digital. Some things you got to keep golden school. I don't say old school. I say golden school, because golden school, man, can teach so much to the new school, and you won't get taken back. Because if you use digital for everything, at some point or another, I'm talking about if you're relying on it and you're not aware and you're always taken in by glamorous, shiny things. Oh yeah, you're going to get taken in all the time. Snakes going to love you. But we have to learn how to navigate intelligently on this here social media matrix, and know the difference between media and social media, And I'm telling you, when you're aware to the core, you'll know when something is too good to be true. So we're going to talk about sharpening our awareness. Even those that are aware, we can sharpen it. Again, we're going to go 1,000 notches, take it to a whole new level. And, I wanted to read a little summary. Remember, we're leaders and teachers. We are never followers with a student spirit. And I just want to, and this is something I'm speaking on that a lot of us have heard and may already know. But we're just going to, again, assess and reset, and we're gonna get into this summary. My leaders and teachers, my generals, salute. Let's go. How to update or improve our self-awareness. Number 1, look at ourselves objectively. I might say that word weird, fun. Some words I don't use a lot, so if I say it funny, I fumble it, forgive me. Okay, number 1, look at ourselves objectively. That's a funny word for me, so forgive me. Look at ourselves objectively. All right. Number 2, consider how your actions affect others. Pay attention to how we affect others. If we care about ourselves and how we affect others, we pay attention to it and work on what? Improving it if it's an error in there. All right. Number 3, practice meditation. Something you hear from the greatest teachers of all time, brother or sister, something you always hear. Meditation is very important because it gets to the core of things, and it helps us to reason, to come within logic, and come up with a solution. The best solution we can come up with. Okay, meditation and other mindfulness habits. We have to form habits. Get rid of the old habits, negative habits, and replace them with powerful, positive habits. And I always say, folks, that's for me too, because I have my little, when we study ourselves, the battles become less. But a real brother or sister or family that's aware know that those habits can, triggers can make old habits pop up. So you just got to be aware of things like that. But if you study yourself, you're on it. You know what it is. All right. That was number 3. Number 4, ask for feedback from people we trust. Somebody we really trust and connect on the same divine level. And that's family member, brother or sister. It could even be a child, significant other. But have to be on the same level, and no wrong intent deep within, because as righteous walk, this foundation will be all for nothing. So, man, either way, you had to go through some kind of battle. So you might as well, us as brothers and sisters, people, family, we might as well just try to be as righteous as we possibly can, because you're going to go through a storm, whether good or whether not so bad or bad, one way or another. So we might as well be righteous, right? So number 5, be mindful of our strengths and weaknesses, which I kind of touch on every now and then. I too have battles, but when we focus on them, and this is not always in front of people trying to prove our strengths and all that. These are the things we battle when we by ourselves, when no one else is around. That's when we battle those strengths and those weaknesses, because when we by ourselves, that's when we're at the core. We can get to the core, of whatever issue we may have in the human body. And there's no distractions, because nobody knows us better than ourselves, and nothing knows our heart more than that great divine and that mother nature and the universe. Those 3 forces knows our heart, whether good or bad. All right, that was number 5. Mindfulness. Be mindful of our strengths and weaknesses. Number 6, know our emotional triggers. That's the same thing as mastering one's emotions. Know our emotional triggers. When we know our triggers, like I just said a few minutes ago, when we have gotten rid of old habits and whatever they are, it can be lusting, it can be attention, it can be running after money, or just having that, I always say, that microwave type thinking. When you're able to just have gratitude and be thankful for what you have, and you really don't care about material things or money, just my theory, those things come. Now, of course, we have to, work. We can't just sit on our butts, and money, not just money, but just use money as an example. Things we, need in this life to, quotation marks, survive, so to speak. But we're not survive. We don't survive. We thrive. But, of course, we do things we have to do to work and, to work and get things we need for our families, ourselves, and stuff like that. But when we have this mindset of not caring about those things, somehow, some way, when we're doing what we're supposed to do as a brother or sister, family member, those things come. That's one of the great divine principles of the universe. When we do what we're supposed to, really our heart, mind, heart, and soul, we're genuine, and it's coming from a righteous intent, things will come. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But you have to love yourself, know yourself, and accept yourself. And again, when we know ourselves, when we don't have toxic things within, it'll be small human errors. There'll be less stress here and there. We get better and better, but we have to stay at it. We can't just, we can't keep doing the same toxic thing and expect a different result. Many of us hear that. So know our emotional triggers, because it can have a very, if we don't, especially if we up in age and we know better, nothing wrong with us, it can have a very downfall, a very wrong toxic impact on our lives, especially up in adulthood, brother or sister. All right, if we don't control our emotional trigger, know our emotional triggers, because any given moment, especially if we aren't aware of them, anything can trigger it, and it can be impactful, because something small can lead to something big. And I went long on that, but that's serious. Okay, that's why I went in on that Mastering One's Emotion podcast. All right, but it's more than just relationships. It goes beyond that. This social media, computers, this digital shit, all this plays a part. All that plays a part in knowing emotional triggers, because we know how the world can sway us one way or another way. All right, that was number 6. Number 7, perform daily on our self-reflection. Every now and then, that's why you always hear me say, a little introspection never hurts, because that's our energy source. We always think of the things that we power through that we thought wasn't impossible. I say this a lot. That's our power source. So what makes this time any different than now? It's just a little different, that's all. But those who are true to themselves and have been through many fires, we always find a way, right? So we'll find a way this time. You just have to stay aware, and don't do everything digital. Do some things natural, just to kind of that helped to me. My theory, my opinion, clinging to natural things of life and not this AI and not too much of it, and knowing what it is, you'll breeze through life. You'll miss a lot of things that can sway us and again touch our pockets on this here digital, because I said I haven't had a bank account going on 35, I said 30 years, but I think it's been longer than that. I think it's been about 35, 40 years. I haven't had a bank account, and I only use digital when necessary. Again, that's why we're right here, right now, brothers and sisters, my generals, salute, excuse me. That's why we're speaking on sharpening our awareness. Now, one's not naive. One knows digital and cash and all that stuff, and things to come are changing, and a lot of things going on and stuff swirling around us. Of course, I see things just like everybody else, but we maintain in the eye of that storm. Remember, great divine is right there with us. Think of all the great things that great divine force has pulled so many of us through. Brothers, sisters, family, we made it through. Man, we made it through the worst. We'll make it through this, just a different time. Remember what I said about the devil. The devil used the same tactics over and over and over. Same game. The players change, but the game remains the same. We've heard that a lot. I've said it before too. So we just got to know that, and then the devil is full of illusions. Now, again, we're not naive. We know what's real and know what's not. But that's why we sharpen our awareness, right? And keep building, and enjoy the journey in the process. And, always throw in there, enjoy one's life and laugh. Have a sense of humor every now and then, because that is a very important part of the balance. And watch how we eat. And I will, little side note, I've really been disciplining myself on eating, because as I said before, I don't never want to come off like I'm this health expert and I eat healthy all the time. But I will say, brothers and sisters, lately I've been strict on oneself. I've been eating lighter and and kind of shying away from the meat, not eating a lot of meat, and it makes a difference. I'm telling you. And this is anything. This any brother and sister, I'm sure there are those that do this. I already know. But when we actually do what we're saying and we start seeing the results of it, it's like an aha moment. So that's why we sharpen our self-awareness, so we won't get taken in our pockets. Won't anybody take money out of our pockets. That's why I will never solely rely on the digital, only if need be, and only if we have to, just opinion and theory, because some things we have to use digital for. So, but just make sure we invest our finances into something valuable, invest it back into our family, because there's something that Mike Epps said that I'll always take from him. It was the truth. It was facts what he said. Money, we can't do nothing with it anyway. Excuse me. We can't do nothing with it anyway. And this what Mike Epps said. All we doing is stacking it up to give it to someone else. So, work, do what we have to do as far as being in this so-called matrix, quotation marks, but don't give a damn about it. Do what we have to do with it. Stack as much of it up as we can. Make sure we invest it into our family as much as we can. You see a homeless person, give it to him. Just give him some money. Who cares? I seen a homeless guy today, and as I said on past podcasts, I always have a soft spot for homeless people, because I've been homeless before. I 3 things I don't play with: death, I don't play with my life, no one else's life, I don't play with Mother Nature. Well, that's 4 things. I always say 3. And that great divine, and I'm not perfect, but I'm not out here doing dumb shit either. Real talk. So that's why it's good to speak, like I said, and just speak on things that's in our soul and share it to others, and pass that good energy and knowledge and suggestions and teaching and just good energy and breathing life into another. Because when we positive, whether we positive spiritually or with a good word or physically, we never know who life we may be changing in that moment. We just never know. We just think something is random and we are impacting someone's life. But like I said, I always have a soft spot, and this still is a part of sharp awareness, because you see above things. You don't just look on the surface anymore. And I'm I'm saying that to say I see that in homeless people. It's just like if I see a brother or a sister, like here in the Milltown, you go up and down Lisbon Street, and it's a lot of I call it street walkers, female street walkers out there and hustlers and all that, and I just always think to myself, like, what happened in their life that made them get to that point. But I don't judge them and get down on them, because again, I've been down and out. I made wrong choices in one life, so I know what it's like to be down and out. So that's why I kind of have a soft spot, in my heart for people who may be hustlers or streetwalkers or homeless or something. I don't judge them. Hey, they doing what they have to do to survive in this system, even though they got choices like everybody else. But we all know how the old matrix can get out and how powerful this here system can be, this machine, but we got sharp awareness. It will make us keep building, and keep building, keep that fortress up, keep that righteous fortress up. Let nothing penetrate it. I mean it, so, and I got to work on that word. What I say that first number one was look at ourselves objectively. Ooh, I said it right. And when we do that, we'll see all things and we'll balance all things, even through the challenging times and the human errors we'll make here and there. But it won't be that bad, right? Because our awareness is what? Sharp. And what are we doing? We're building. We don't stop. We don't get to a space where we think we know everything. Because when a person think they know everything and not willing to learn, that's how you make mistakes and shit catch you off guard. And you do get scammed or something when you think you got to assess things. You got to analyze. You can't be taken in by shiny, gold, sparkling things, on this media. Don't be a bumblebee. As I said on that my Honey Bumblebee podcast, honey bumblebee theory. This media, this machine can be the honey, and some of us, not all of us, but some of us, the majority of us, are the bees. And every time they throw some shiny out there, whether it's media, the world, or person, place, thing, I'm talking about something that's not good for our psyche. There we go. Bzzz. Every time they throw something out there, bzzz. Like I said about the devil, folks, the devil has no power. Only the power that if we are naive in our soul, that we give it. Because it uses the same tactics over and over and over and over. If your awareness is sharp, you'll know this. You won't get taken in by things, And, it's just a matter of being aware, Because you can have a college graduate can be good, and that's brother or sister, and got I don't know, 1 million degrees, and still get and have a lack of self-awareness and end up homeless and everything, and be, that's real talk. That can happen. And be some of the I met a I remember I spoke on this before, a brother that he was a good brother though. I'm not gonna beat on, talk down on him, but the brother was just, I don't know, it's been a while ago, it's been some years ago, and he went to college, but it's like he used so much of his brain for college, he didn't have any common sense. I never could understand that, but that's just an example. Not saying that all people that go to college is like that, but if you don't have, if your awareness isn't sharp, really sharp, you're going to be taken in by things, whether it's person, place, or thing. And that can be, most of the time, if it's a person, it's coming through social media or something digital, because we living in digital land. So you better have your awareness, better be sharp, and you better always be mindful and working on building, and not just for oneself. So again, like I said in one of those points, so we can watch how we affect others, and I'm telling you, when we are aware and we just don't see shiny ads, and especially when it comes to money, you better assess and reset and assess and reset again, because man, especially I'm telling you, I don't, we don't care about money, but we ain't trying to throw money away either, or anything else. That money is just a part of the example I'm using, because that's just a part of not being aware, but other things can sway us and take us away too, by relationships, feelings of relationships, and dealing with the opposite sex, as I talked about on that podcast about mastering one's emotions. That can sway you, that can weigh into your finances, so it's just we just have to stay aware, so we can have all those pistons firing, and there won't either less triggers or no triggers at all. Like I say about stress, less stress or no stress off. So that's the goal, to be clear, love our families, connect to those who care about us, and helping keeping their awareness sharp. And and we just keep building, brothers and sisters. We just keep building. So thank those that came in to another edition of EBX Discussion. And what's on my banner here, that's what we're doing. Those are the gears, that are meshing together. And be thankful for the family members, brothers and sisters, younger or older, that there are those righteous gears that are meshing together, whether small or big. Don't stop. Always remember, we're not, even if it seemed like we're in a space where, nothing's listening. Remember, the great divine is always listening and watching, and Mother Nature. So stay with it. Remember, every righteous thing we say or do, we put out to the universe, is just going to come back in abundance. We just storing it up in that divine righteous bank. So don't you dare stop building and keep on sharpening our awarenesses. My brothers, sisters, generals, families, salute.